Review terms 21
through 40. This is us.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Here we go. Ku Klux Klan. They weren't a Republican Party. They wanted to demolish the Republican Party. What they wanted is make sure that African Americans had absolutely no rights. And they terrorized towns and hung people, and they weren't very good.
The Homestead Act of 1862 gave any citizen who was the head of the household 160 acres of land, and people who took this opportunity were known as exodusters.
The Dawes Act is basically aiming to Americanize the Native Americans, and each unmarried adult was given 80 acres, while a household was given 160 acres of land. This threatened Native American survival.
The reservation system was a system established by the government, so where Native American blood wouldn't be shed on white man's land. So they wanted to give them their own land and set aside so it could be safe for generations, but Native Americans didn't like that because they wanted their land always back.
Home, home on the range where the deer, I don't know the rest. Okay, well, the Grange is a group that was formed to battle the railroads because they were charging very high prices.
Yeah, that was perfect, man.
Yeah.
Well, the Grangers were out of control, so there needed to be some type of law, and these were the Granger laws. These were a series of laws passed in Midwestern states that basically were meant to please these Grangers, causing riots and havoc. Several cases such as Munn versus Illinois and Wabash versus Illinois were some of the court cases that were eventually passed into laws.
So in the 1800s, people were pretty dumb, so people created this thing called the Farmers Alliance to educate people about farming and how to farm effectively. And they taught farmers how to make loans and how to, put money in the bank because they didn't know how to do that. They just knew how to, grow tomatoes and, farm. They were dumb.
Populism, 19th century political movement to give people a greater voice in government and to help out farmers. Yeah.
William Jennings Bryan gave a speech on the Cross of Gold, which said that the farmers were being crucified on that cross of gold, and that the government was being too harsh on their policies.
How harsh?
Very harsh. And that helped them gain the populace support.
The Sherman Silver Purchase Act of 1894 was passed because farmers were getting mad that they weren't getting enough silver in their diets. So the government bought a bunch of silver, and they put a lot of money back into circulation, which made the U.S. Treasury go down and caused a lot of havoc. So President Cleveland just stopped that.
The Interstate Commerce Act of 1887 granted the federal government to create a 5-member Interstate Commerce Commission, which would regulate the railroads.
During this time period, there were some innovators and inventors on the railway. George Pullman was the inventor of the sleeping car inside for train travelers. George Westinghouse was the inventor of the railway air brake, which stops all the cars.
It's just a brake.
Which is basically it's just a brake.
I've never seen something so ugly in my life. Wait, it's just
Pause it.
What?
Pause it.
We're recording. So Thomas Addison was this really cool white guy that lived in Fort Myers, but not really because, he grew up in New Jersey. But he invented the light bulb and the phonograph and the telegraph and a lot of other stuff because, he was innovative and he was good at stuff.
He never gave up.
Hey, check out that picture. He's just grew up in that light bulb.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Hope.
The Bessemer process created cheap and efficient ways to produce steel, which means... Hey, come on, be quiet. I'm trying to record stuff. Bro, he just swore.
Oh my god.
Bessemer process. It's great.
Yeah, it allowed for steel buildings. An easier way to build railroads is created by Henry Bessemer, British manufacturer, and William Kelly in America, who was an iron worker.
During this time period of innovation, Samuel Morse was the inventor of the telegraph and the Morse code. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone. That was a telegraph, right? No, telephone.
He invented the telephone.
Yeah, he invented the telephone. 1875. Made instant communications possible even over long distances.
What a great guy.
Which is how we got our telephones today.
Ring a ding ding. So Tracy Radke, or Nikola Tesla, was an inventor who made alternating current, which basically replaced direct current. He also invented the Tesla coil and was like 10 times better than Edison. Yeah, he was cool.
African American inventors. John Albert Burr basically made a better lawnmower. Jan Ernest Madsell Ledger made parts of a shoe, the upper and lower parts of a shoe. Lewis Howard Latimer made carbon filaments, basically a better way to produce them. And Madame C.J. Walker made cosmetic products.
What great people. They did so much.
Well, a business monopoly is when you have total control of the business industry, or the industry that you're trying to control.
Bye, guys.
Many were formed in the late 1800s, and
Oh god.
social Darwinism was a big part of these monopolies, in which some believe that if you were born rich, you're going to be rich for the rest of your life.
And if you already had talents when you were born, you were going to keep those talents throughout your life, and that you'd be the head of the competition.
And people can turn it into propane.
Look at that, like it's crazy. So the Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890 was a law that Congress passed that made sure that states or countries couldn't make trust between each other that interfered with free trade, even though communication language between countries and states was very limited. So nothing really got done, and it was useless.
All about them quarters, boy.
So that concludes our PowerPoint and everything that we had to do with it.
And those were terms 21 through 40.
Hope you
And that's a cool dog.
It is a very
Hope
cool
you
dog.
enjoyed.
Thank you. Come again. Bye.